So there's a version of dissociative identity disorder you've probably seen online. It's edited, color coded, almost aesthetic. People introducing their alters like characters, clean transitions between switches, comments saying things like, "This is so cool, I wish I had this." And that's all you've seen, and if that's all you've seen, I understand why it might seem that way. But you might, no, you want to imagine something different. Not a video, not an edit, just a person. Imagine waking up and realizing hours of your day are gone. Not in like a vague sort of way, but completely gone. You check your phone, there are messages you don't remember sending, conversations you don't recognize, plans you've apparently made without knowing you made them. People expect you to remember things you don't, and you don't have a good explanation for why. Now, imagine that isn't a one-time thing. Imagine that's your normal. That's closer to what living with DID can feel like. Not a curated set of personalities, but a life that doesn't always feel fully accessible to you. DID doesn't come from creativity. It doesn't come from wanting to be different. It comes from something much, much harder to talk about. Severe, repeated trauma, usually in childhood, like under the ages of, like, say, 10. The kind of trauma where this isn't an escape. So, where the person experiencing it can't leave, can't stop it, can't even process it. So, the brain does something basically just extraordinary. It separates. Different parts form to hold different experiences, different memories, different emotions, because not because it's interesting, but because it's necessary. Because staying as one whole continuous identity in that environment was just too much. So when DID is romanticized, it focuses on what's visible. Not so much of it, but yeah, so much of it isn't. It doesn't show the confusion of trying to understand your own mind. It doesn't show the fear of realizing there are parts of your life you can't fully access. It doesn't show what it's like to question your own identity. Who am I? Am I the same person I was yesterday? What belongs to me and what doesn't? And it definitely doesn't show the emotional weight behind it, because those different parts people talk about, they exist for a reason. They're holding things that are too overwhelming to experience all at once. And even if those memories are separated, the impact of them doesn't just disappear. So when DID is turned into something aesthetic or entertaining, the story changes. It stops being about survival and starts being about presentation. And that shift has real consequences, because now there's an expectation of what DID is supposed to look like. Clear differences, obvious switches, easily explained identities. But real experiences are often messy, subtle, confusing, hard to put into words. So when someone's reality doesn't match the version people expect, they're questioned, doubted, sometimes even accused of faking. And that creates a kind of silence where people feel like they have to either perform their experience or just hide it completely. There's something else romanticization does that people don't always realize. Excuse me. It creates distance because it turns something deeply personal into something someone or people observe from the outside. Something they analyze, comment on, compare. But for the person living it, it's not something they step away from. It's their reality. It's navigating relationships while dealing with memory gaps. It's trying to build a sense of self that feels stable. It's learning how to live with a mind that developed a response to things that shouldn't have happened in the first place. And when that gets reduced to something interesting, it can feel like the weight of that experience is being overlooked. So I wanted to talk about what respect looks like. Talking about DID isn't the problem. Sharing experiences isn't the problem. The problem is how it's framed. Respect looks like acknowledging where it comes from, listening without turning it into a spectacle, understanding that what you're seeing is only a tiny part of a much larger reality. And most importantly, recognizing that this isn't something to admire. It's something to have compassion for. If there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this. DID isn't something people choose. It's something their mind created so they could survive. And when we romanticize it, we risk forgetting the reason it exists at all. So instead of asking, isn't that interesting? Maybe ask something else like, what does it actually feel like to live with this? Because the answer to that question is a lot more important than anything an aesthetic video can show. I hope you have a good day. And if you learned anything, or if you have comments, like anything I should correct, then you can comment, but keep it respectful, please. And yeah, have a good day.